What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, and I'm seeing more fallout in regards to this ESPN Top 75 ranking list, and I'm seeing people having a problem with Oscar Robertson being ranked in the top 10. In particular, there are people having a problem with Oscar Robertson being ranked ahead of Steph Curry, and this is getting out of hand. This is just getting ridiculous. These arguments that people keep having are really simplistic, and it comes down to mere ring counting. Like, you either have people who look only at stats, or you have people who only look at rings. And rings are important. They are, but I mean, sometimes though, like, are we getting to a point where we're going to start ranking like people like, we're going to start ranking people like, Udonis Haslam over Patrick Ewing because he'll win more rings or something, or we're ranking Robert Ory over Charles Barkley because he has more rings. Like, this ring shit is getting out of hand. Well, Steph Curry has 3 rings. Oscar only have 1. He didn't win as much, so how could you have that's the only basis of your argument? Do you know anything about Oscar Robertson? Anything? This is what really gets me, is that, okay, if you really studied Oscar Robertson and you read about Oscar Robertson and you know anything about his impact on the game, you know what he did for the game of basketball, what he did outside the game of basketball, if you do all of that and you still come to the conclusion with Steph Curry, fine, I'll disagree with you, but I respect your opinion. The thing is that 98% of these motherfuckers don't know a damn thing about Oscar Robertson. All they know is that he averaged a triple-double one year. That's all they know. They don't know nothing else about the dude. And they just come away saying, well, Steph Curry is more impactful. Steph Curry changed the game, blah, 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 blah. Oscar Robertson, he didn't win. Shut the fuck up. First of all, who was winning outside of Boston in the 60s? Someone answer me that. Who was winning outside of the Boston Celtics in the 60s? Nobody. Nobody. Do they realize that Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, Wilt Chamberlain, Walt Bellamy, they all played and suffered in the 60s? Even part of Bob Pettitt's career, half of his career was in the 60s. He didn't win a damn thing in the 60s because Boston was winning every goddamn thing. Only 1 year in the 1960s did the Boston Celtics not win a championship. That's amazing. But when I say, well, if you're ring counting, well, let's put Bob Cousy up there. He won 6. Oh, he played against a bunch of plumbers. Man, fuck you, dude. When somebody challenges your argument, then you move the goalposts and make it about something else. Well, the competition was less. Okay, all right, whatever, man. All right. How come when Steph Curry didn't have a star-studded team, he couldn't take him any fucking where? Oscar Robertson, for the majority of his career, didn't have a star-studded team. True, he played with Jerry Lucas. He played with Bob Boozer and Jack Twyman. But compared to the other great teams, Baylor and West, the Boston Celtics, even some of Wilt's teams grew to be more talented. They couldn't compete with them. And as a consequence, because his team wasn't all that talented, Oscar had to do a lot of different things. He didn't just go out and score. Oscar had to do a lot of different things out there on the court. He had to be their primary scorer. He had to be their point guard. And he had to be one of their dominant rebounders. And it wasn't because he was trying to chase stats or stat pad. There was no such thing back then. Wasn't nobody tracking triple doubles. You stupid motherfucking idiotic, stupid brain dead, fucking degenerate, fucking murdering ass, mass murdering, stupid fucking generation. You. There was no such thing as triple double tracking. They didn't start really tracking triple doubles until Magic Johnson. They retroactively started looking at Oscar and said, wow, Oscar, wow, okay. He had a lot of triple doubles. He averaged one during the 61-62 season, but it didn't become really cherished until after he retired. He wasn't doing it for the accolades. He did it because he had to do it. And then by 1970, he was tired of it. He wanted to be traded. But what you imbeciles, I'm not talking to people who subscribe to me. I'm talking to these motherfuckers on social media. What you imbeciles don't realize is that players didn't have the freedom to move around like that back then. He took the NBA to court, all the way to Supreme Court. So you ungrateful fucks who have the pleasure of watching players move around like chess pieces. He won a very important court case by the Supreme Court, in front of the Supreme Court, in favor of the players. They started getting more freedom in where they wanted to go. That's why by the start of the 1970s, a team couldn't just hold on to a player almost his whole fucking career anymore. They had free agency to go into. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you. Thank you for being Jackie Robertson in the NBA, but they don't give a fuck because they self-centered motherfuckers who don't give a fuck about nothing but themselves, the me generation. You know, people say that Oscar went to the Milwaukee Bucks and hung around and let Kareem do all the heavy lifting to get a ring. But you know what's interesting? When Oscar finally got a Hall of Fame teammate and Lou Alcindor, soon to be Kareem, look at this. 1971, they win a championship. 1972, they go to the Western Conference Finals to lose to the Lakers. And in 1974, they go to the Western Conference Finals, beat the, but who did they beat? I think they beat the Lakers or the Warriors. I think it was the Warriors. And then went to the NBA Finals, go to a Game 7 to the Boston Celtics, narrowly losing a second ring, right? As soon as Oscar retires, the next year, the Bucks go 38-44. So who was helping who? As soon as Oscar retires, they go from going to the NBA Finals to having a losing record, and then Kareem loses interest in the Bucks and wants to get traded. I think we need to start appreciating how great this guy was. For his career, 25.7 points, 7.5 rebounds, 9.5 assists. In his 10-year prime, 1960 to 70, 29.3 points, 8.5 rebounds, 10.5 assists. And in his 5-year peak, 1961 to 66, 30.4 points, 9.9 rebounds, 10.9 assists. In an era where it was much more difficult to rack up assists because they were much more stringent on what was an assist back then. The pass had to lead directly to a basket. And you had, this guy averaging almost 10 rebounds a game during an era where you have the Wilt Chamberlains and the Bill Russells and the Jerry Lucases and the Nate Thurmans, all averaging 20-plus rebounds a game, controlling the boards. He shoots 49% from the field in an era where field goal percentages were way down. But, Steph Curry, the greatest shooter God ever created.